Want to know the latest and hottest music hitting the airwaves? Don't be left out. Listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Music Podcast. It keeps you on the loop with everything you need to know from pop, rock, hip-hop, and the top 40. And we'll throw in news of your favorite artists, concert and tour dates, and so much more. Listen no further, because this is the gold standard in music podcast.
Good morning, everybody. This is the GSMC Music Podcast being brought to you by your sleepy hosts at the GSMC Podcast Network, Keith and Cynthia.
Hello.
This
I was
daylight
so
savings time has got us messed up.
Literally, yeah. I feel right now like it's 10 p.m. And, I mean, we're not recording at 10 p.m. right now.
But we could be. They wouldn't know.
They absolutely won't know. And I'm sure people...
It's 2 a.m. actually.
I'm sure people do record that late. But yeah, this daylight savings has been kicking my rear end. I feel like I've been awake for like, I don't know.
Too long.
Too long, exactly.
Yeah.
Too long is perfect. So yeah, I'm like crashing right now and I'm like, why? So yeah, it's been a little bit of a struggle this week.
Riding that struggle bus.
Mm-hmm.
One-way ticket to no fun town.
Exactly. And you know what was sucked too? So you mentioned before we started recording how daylight savings was also during the time when there was like a full moon.
Yeah.
And so the same night that the time changed and we lost an hour of sleep, I had to be at work at 5 a.m. And I totally forgot. So when I woke, I totally forgot.
The worst.
So I was, oh my God, honestly in like the worst mood. This was what, Monday?
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
The worst mood. I was like, I don't want anyone to talk to me. Okay, my under eye bags are designer, Gucci and Prada. But yeah, it's been a struggle, but we're here. It's Wednesday. It feels like it's been Wednesday for like the last 3 days.
Yeah, I normally am not a type to say like I'm working for the weekend, you know? As much as I do love the band Loverboy, I hate that mentality of thinking like, oh, I can't wait for it to be Saturday and Sunday. Like the rest of my week is just so not interesting. I personally am ready for it to not be this week. And I'm just going to sleep in on Saturday.
I wish.
I know. Yeah, you work at a gym. You're like a personal trainer.
At 2 gyms now. So it's
good. Well, congrats, right?
I know. Thanks. Yeah. So now it's like my schedule is just even crazier, and it's like I'm being pulled at like multiple directions, which is like good. You know, that's what I asked for. I'm not complaining.
You want to be busy.
Right. But again, this all happened the same week where like the time changed. And like, I remember last year too, when we had the daylight savings, the same situation happened. Like I just like couldn't get it together for like 2 weeks. So
yeah, I feel like it's pretty normal. Actually, funny enough, the most dangerous time to drive is after a full moon, because the full moon scientifically alters your circadian rhythm, the patterns of sleeping, because of all the light. So people who haven't slept are statistically more dangerous drivers than almost any other kind of driver. And so when you combine that with the loss of an hour, quote unquote, I just imagine that's a recipe for disaster.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
It's Friday the 13th this week. Which
I know. Just this whole week. This whole week is like, I don't know what's going on.
Also, I heard Mercury's in retrograde.
Yeah, Mercury's in retrograde.
I don't know exactly what that means, but
I don't really know either. I'm not like.
Just that weird stuff happens.
Yeah, weird stuff happens. Things are backwards, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't know if you like follow astrology a lot. Can you let us know? Because I hear that term being thrown around all the time.
Yeah, whenever
we're
Mercury's
in retrograde.
Yeah, whenever Mercury's in retrograde, my belly button goes from an innie to an outie.
What?
No, that's not true. That'd be hilarious.
That's funny.
That would be really
that was probably the best joke you've said on this podcast. On top of all the dad jokes ever.
No.
That actually like made me laugh. Like, and I wasn't trying to force it. Like, that made me giggle.
All your other laughs have been forced?
Not forced. But
was
this
that
one,
laugh forced?
No.
Have you been lying to me this whole time?
No, but that one was for sure.
My entire comedic existence and perception of myself is false.
I'm sorry to break it to you.
I am devastated.
Well, can you imagine if you like made a joke and like if I was just sitting here like dead silent?
I would just have to laugh at it by myself.
But you don't laugh at it by yourself. You need like an audience.
No, I tell jokes for me. They're not for anyway. But other than that, so your week's been busy? That's good.
Busy.
Right? Yeah.
Let's talk about something really drastic and interesting that happened in the music world. Like just a few days ago.
You mean like yesterday?
Like I said, I don't even know.
Announced yesterday. Yeah.
I feel like this day has been like 72 hours long. So I don't know. Yesterday, what happened?
Coachella is canceled.
Postponed.
Canceled due to the zombie outbreak caused by the coronavirus. Mm-hmm. I read the what are those things that they put on the supermarket shelves that tell ridiculous stories? Not tabloids.
Aren't they tabloids? Magazines?
Maybe. I don't know what they'd be called. There's a specific name for them. Anyway. That's a joke. Yes. Coachella has been rescheduled to October because of health concerns involving the coronavirus.
Which I think is very smart, actually.
Probably, especially considering that there is an individual who tested positive and passed. Condolences to that individual's family. But they passed from coronavirus in the immediate vicinity of the venue for Coachella. Mm-hmm. So they basically said, probably not a good idea to have, like, how many people go?
Literally thousands of people. And... Again, I think that's a really smart idea.
All in close contact with each other.
Close contact, right? Coming from people like fly from various parts of the world to Coachella, so you just don't know. And typically, most attendees of Coachella, I mean, they're young individuals, so they're not as. They don't have a high of a risk as someone who's older.
Yeah, they're not going to have a high vitality risk, but they could definitely spread it.
Right, and especially in Coachella Valley, there's a lot of retirement homes in that area. A lot of older folks live there, so could definitely harm them. So no, I think it's it's a smart move. I know a lot of my friends, actually all my friends who bought their Coachella ticket, they're not really upset. If anything, they're like, okay, great. Like, this gives me time to like save money, gives me time to work on my body more. Cause they're saying like, I'm not Coachella ready. But the only thing that people are concerned with is if the lineup is going to change, because obviously, not
like
all
tour dates and stuff.
Right.
That,
so
might conflict now.
I'm actually very happy. I was first bummed that I didn't buy my Coachella ticket along with my friends.
You'll probably have a chance now.
Yeah. But here's the thing too. I don't know. I mean, we don't know how long this issue with coronavirus is going to go for. Mm-hmm. What if, October comes, coronavirus is still, spreading, and they're like, we have to cancel this event just due to health concerns.
I mean, you could always just stream it online.
True, but imagine the people who bought their tickets. I read somewhere, I wish I could pull up the article right now. Mm-hmm. I read somewhere that Coachella, if that were the case, they would refund everybody who purchased a ticket. But the issue here is that 50% of people who go to Coachella buy them from other individuals.
Oh, so the person who sold the ticket would get the refund.
Not necessarily the one who has the wristband.
Oh, that's a bummer. And a lot of those exchanges are anonymous or private.
Right.
So then it would be the responsibility of StubHub, for
exactly,
instance, to then refund the money, and the refund, because those get sold above the standard selling price. They have a separate there's an aftermarket value. So would those individuals get the aftermarket value refunded? I seriously doubt it. They might get the original cost refunded.
Right.
But if you paid $1,000 for your ticket, actually, I don't know what tickets are now. Are they $1,000 flat yet?
I don't know.
Okay, well, if you paid $1,000 and tickets are only $500, you probably only get the $500 back, and then StubHub would pocket that other $500 as part of the fee that you would have for it.
Right.
And a lot of those places are also non-refundable, so that just means you're
screwed.
Yeah, you're SOL, as it were. So hopefully this issue resolves itself, and all the individuals who have tickets now will be able to attend in October.
Spooky Chella, I've been hearing.
Spooky Chella. Oh,
Spooky because it's October.
Right
it's
around Halloween.
Right. And I'm kind of nervous too because, as you know, Keith, I purchased my ticket for Lovers and Friends in May.
Have they announced that that's fake yet?
No, that's not fake.
Okay.
It is not fake.
Have they changed the lineup yet?
Thing. No. The lineup, they actually added a second date.
Like a second
date. So it's still a 1-day festival.
Uh-huh.
But because the demand was so high and the Saturday date sold out very quickly, they ended up adding a second date on Friday. The lineup is similar. There are a few artists that had to like switch out. But it's still a 1-day event. So like if I purchase a Saturday ticket, I can't go to the Friday. I'd have to purchase 2 separate tickets. So it's like 2 separate events, or 2 separate days for the same event.
Okay. Huh.
Right.
Well, I look forward to hearing stories about it.
I know, but I'm kind of nervous. I mean, with like, again, this whole outbreak, it's like, I don't know. Like,
well, I mean, flu season is about the same length of time. So hopefully we'll get, I don't know, it'll kind of like be downgraded in its level of potential catastrophe enough to where we can start gathering in large groups again.
Right.
Like, I know NBA games have been, they're canceling those as
well.
they're
not letting spectators come.
Yeah, so, I mean, hey.
And schools too. My friend.
Elk Grove Unified. Elk Grove is a city in our area.
Uh-huh. Oh, really?
Yeah, Elk Grove Unified shut down their schools.
Yeah, my friend at San Francisco State, she said that all her all her classes have been canceled and they're now doing everything online.
Yeah, and I saw an article from Harvard saying the same thing.
Right.
So, scary times that we live in.
Uh-huh.
And since they're so scary, we're going to give you time to reflect on the scariness while we take our commercial break, and then we'll start talking about our super exciting music picks that we have for this week.
Always on the go, but the day just won't be one without your Hollywood fix. Let Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast take care of that. An all-inclusive look of pop culture.
Welcome back to GSMC Music Podcast. And we're now going to get straight into our music picks for this week. I'll start with my first pick here. It's like an R&B soul album, I guess. And I am absolutely obsessed with this album. I actually listened to this album on my way here.
Oh, wow.
20 songs for Jhené Aiko's Chilombo.
Mm-hmm.
Chilombo is her last name, so that's the name of the album. So Jhené,
it's a great last name,
right? Chilombo,
Chilombo,
right? And I am like seriously obsessed with this album. I've been listening to it nonstop, like all the way through. It's over an hour long, and it calms me. And I'll get more into exactly like, you know, what instruments she uses in her music, because there's actually a reason why when you listen to her music, it's super zen and it just like chills you out. So her album Chilombo dropped last Friday, March 6th.
And it is vibes.
It's vibes, right? It's straight vibes. It is her third album.
I was pleasantly surprised at how much I really liked this.
Yeah, I knew. I was like, there's no way that like you wouldn't enjoy this. Like, there's at least 1 or 2 songs on the album that I'm like, I know you'll like love.
Every time a song would start, I was like,
this
is good.
It's vibes.
Yeah.
No, have you ever like prior to you listening to this album, have you ever heard of Jhené Aiko or like listened to her first 2 albums? Because she's been around for a while, but she hasn't released music since 2017. So she's been kind of quiet these last 3 years.
I had not heard of her. I feel like Jhené Aiko sounds like something cool that I should have heard of. Just like her name sounds like a cool concept that I should be familiar with. But no, I have not heard of her.
Okay. You might have like, she features on like a lot of other artists. So you might have like not realized it was her.
Yeah, I could see that.
But no, there was so much buzz around this album. So she's been building a lot of hype around it. She dropped her 3 singles, None of Your Concern, Triggered, and
P***, money sign, Y, fairy.
Fairy. What rhymes with that word?
I don't think we need to rhyme it. I think that if you were to write it down, you would know, or see the track list, you would know.
And those 3 singles right there have over 500 million streams.
Wow.
Yeah, so
that's a lot of streams.
It's a lot of streams.
Yeah.
She released these singles, I think, starting in like, I want to say November, but no one knew really the album was coming. She like dropped these singles once a month, and we're like, wait, and we're like, when she dropped the very 3rd track, the P Fairy, everybody was like, hey, new music's coming, the new album's coming. So people were super hyped. And prior to recording Chilombo, Jhené Aiko got immersed in the practice of sound healing. So when you listen to these tracks, you feel like very calm and at ease. And it's because she incorporated the vibrational hum of Crystal Alchemy singing bowls into every track. And these are said to balance your chakras and soothe anxiety. And this is,
which is not a statement that is confirmed by the FDA, by the way.
No.
It's holistic medicine.
Right. And
she's
she's very spiritual. Her music, she says like her music is meant for healing. And
I did not get healing vibes from this.
She talks about it like in so many interviews.
It was decidedly sexual. Like the whole thing was just dripping with sexual content. Like, if your child is in 4th grade and above and you're not cool with them knowing what goes on in the bedroom, I would not recommend listening to this record with them around.
You know what's crazy is that the way she says it, it's like you almost have to like rewind it back. Like, what'd she just say? Because she's like singing.
I know, and it is like so like sultry. And it's not that it's like lewd by any means. Like it feels like very matter of fact and is lacking in like some sort of like value statement as to whether it's good or bad that these things are happening, which is part of what makes it really good. But like it is very sexual in its content.
It is. Certain songs. I wouldn't say like every single song is extremely sexual. There are like P Fairy, obviously it's in the name.
Yes.
Some of my other like favorite tracks are BS featuring her, Party for Me featuring Ty Dolla $ign. That one's more like has more hip hop element.
A little bit, yeah.
And it's more hype. It's the very last song on the track.
It is pretty good, yeah.
And Surrender featuring Dr. Chill. That specific song, Surrender, you can hear like the bowl in the background.
Yep.
So in certain songs, it like stands out more than others.
Yeah.
But overall, I give this album a 10 out of 10. I think it was like beautifully crafted. I've already been a fan of Jhené Aiko for quite some time. So I was already really excited when, she announced the date for this album.
Yeah. Was
there a specific song that stood out to you or that you really liked?
I really did love Surrender, and Triggered, and which is the one that has
I'm triggered.
Yeah,
which see your face. Am I going to try?
Is that the John Legend song?
No, but that one's really good. I
did like the John Legend song, which I was surprised at because I was like, this feels like just the right amount of corny for me to be into it.
Corny?
Yeah. Well, because the whole record, the lyrical content isn't just sexual. It's like romantic and
well, she takes us to like her relationships and everything, yeah.
So it's definitely really good. It felt kind of very breakup-y. It felt like a breakup record for sure. Like
Triggered was... that one was for sure like a breakup song.
Yeah, I definitely got the vibe like, oh, this is a very sensual breakup record where it's kind of like, one, look at all of these like sweet things that we had, and two, look at everything that you're missing out on is kind of the vibe that I got from it. So
you got the vibe down.
I think
to the T.
It felt very cathartic in that in that respect. And I have no but to follow that up, as in the conjunction but. Dad joke. Was that? Were you just
no. That was. I didn't have to force it.
Okay, good. That's good. Yeah. So just in case you're just joining us, just want to reiterate that Cynthia told me that I've made the best joke I ever made on this podcast at the beginning of the podcast. So you should rewind the whole thing and listen to it again.
Exactly. Go back and listen to that joke because it actually made me giggle a bit.
Yeah. Oh, and welcome back to now because you just went back and listened to it again. You don't need to go back and listen to it a second time.
They're probably like, what? They're probably like so confused right now. Like, what are you saying?
I know. I should have put that before because there's no way for us to upload two different podcasts. That'd be funny if we uploaded two and one was like, this is the joke twice. This is the joke once.
Right.
Like,
right.
Anyway.
So what would you, as a whole, rate this project?
I think it it occupies an interesting space in the overall, like, I don't know, I hate to use the word zeitgeist because it makes me feel super pretentious, but in the overall zeitgeist of music, it has its own space, and it pulls effectively from other genres in order to send the message that it wants to send. Mm-hmm. Lyrically, I thought it was interesting and unique. It did some things with content that I am familiar with that it did in a different way. I'd give it like a 7.5 or an 8.
Wow, and that's pretty high for you.
That's high for me. Yeah, I was just gonna say I will readily. I don't think there's a lot of things I've given below a 5. I don't know if you've ever given below a 5.
No. Have you ever watched American Idol?
I am not. No,
you
I'm
and
not
I are
Simon.
Yes, you are Simon.
Not.
I'm Paula.
No, you're not. You're Randy.
I'm Randy. Yeah, you're right. I'm Randy. I'm Randy.
Because there are times I'll be surprised.
I loved how I didn't even have to finish that, and you're like, I am not Simon.
No, I'm not Simon. I am not that negative. I'm not that mean.
No, you're not honest. Mean. You're the toughest critic on this panel here.
Yeah, in that respect, I am the Simon. But Simon felt malicious. I'm just going to say,
sometimes.
It felt like he was intentionally being mean. I think that his intentions were good because he would always say something mean to someone who really shouldn't be trying to sing,
right?
Unless they practice a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he was trying to protect them from themselves. So I think he does have a really big heart. He just hides it behind layers of ego and critique.
He'll be like, don't ever do that again.
Yeah.
He's like, go home and think about what you just did.
Yeah. So sometimes I wonder, I perform regularly and I always think to myself, I wonder if I would have made it, So.
That's funny.
But the world will never know.
The world will never know.
Yeah, so 7.5 or an 8. Again, that's pretty highly pretty high rating from me.
Highly recommend from me.
Yeah. If you are having a romantic weekend with your SO, definitely put this on. Maybe go through and take off the more breakup-y sounding tracks, but
or
if you're
even
having
by
a
yourself,
romantic
vibe
wink,
in the car.
Yeah, vibe in the car. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't enjoy this while I was driving.
I enjoyed this when I was driving on my way here.
Well,
in my hour-long drive here.
I know you have an hour-long drive here. Yeah,
I was
a long way.
It was nice.
My commute takes forever too. It took me 15 minutes to get here today.
That's pretty long for you because you're relatively close to the studio. Right?
Relatively, yeah. No, it takes 15 minutes every week.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not that far of a drive for me at all.
Well, you're like, I live 10 minutes. So
yeah. No, I tend to exaggerate and round down. I think it's exactly 13 minutes from my house to here. So I just round down to 10 because if I were to not follow the speed limit and speed a little bit or hit all of the green lights, then I could get here super fast. And I've gotten here in under 10 minutes before without speeding. I just hit all the lights.
All the green lights.
So it is what it is. But I think that about covers it for our first pick. Should we take another quick break before we get into the second one?
I think so. I think Simon and Randy should log off really quick.
We'll be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
So what's your next pick?
You need to bring them back in.
No. Just, I'm ready to go.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So totally, we're switching up the tables here, turning the vibe. Okay. We were all very chill with Janae. We're talking about,
chill.
We're talking about the Stallion. Okay. Megan Thee Stallion. She just, you were like extra funny today on this Wednesday. Like actually, oh my goodness. So Megan Thee
My
Stallion.
salute to the hottie queen. Is that what she is?
The hot girl captain.
Hot girl
Hottie
captain.
queen. There you go.
I don't know. I'm not. She says it like 10 times on the record. What'd she say?
She's like hot girl. Or like she always that tongue.
Thing?
Yeah, that tongue like
ugh. No, it's more like ugh.
It's not that. That's like you're in disgust.
Hot girl.
She's like, she'll be like, yeah, she's a hot girl. Well, she actually says hot girl eat. She. That's what. But anyway, so I know we've been talking about Megan a lot on this podcast, but it's because she's like the it girl right now. Like she really is. She's on top of the world.
She is in IT.
She's in IT. She's
yes.
it. She's dominating in the industry.
That was in IT. That was a joke about her being in the IT department of a company.
I got it.
Okay, I was just making
sure.
Got it. It sounded like I spelt NIT like knit. But that was
no. I got it.
IT as in
it wasn't as funny as like your other few jokes you've done earlier, but I got it.
You told me I was being funny, so I'm kind of try-harding. Anyway.
Try-harding. So Megan Thee Stallion, she dropped her EP same day as Janae, March 6th, last Friday.
I thought it was an EP. I was like, it's only 24 minutes?
Yeah, it's really short. It's called Suga. And there's a reason.
Honey.
Walking down the street, right?
Yeah.
That's
are my candy girl.
Whoa, there we go. Hello. So
I'm going to slap some reverb on that in post.
There we go. Megan, so she pulled a Beyonce on us. You remember when Beyonce dropped that surprise album?
Oh yeah, that really mediocre Lemonade.
That's not it. You're incorrect.
Wait, did she drop another record?
This was like in 2016. She dropped a surprise album in December and did not call her mediocre.
Okay, most of her releases in the past few years have been surprises, quote unquote, which is Lemonade. At this point, it's kind of lame.
No, this is she was the very first artist to do a surprise album. Literally no promo. Like she dropped it on midnight in December. And I remember this because I was in my dorm in Santa Barbara and my friends and I were doing homework on our computer. And then we're listening to music, right? And then we're on iTunes and we see like, the new albums. And then hers just popped up. I forget the name of it. It's the one that Drunken Love.
Yeah,
that was that album.
Yeah.
So anyway, Megan pretty much did the same thing with Suga because if you guys tuned into last week's episode with Keith and I, we talked about how Megan Thee Stallion, she's been battling some
legal difficulties with her contract.
A lot of drama with her previous record label, 1501 Certified Entertainment. They've been kind of holding her hostage and saying like you can't release new music. So
holding her creative process hostage.
Yeah, not
it's
her.
A little violent.
Not
to
her.
Say.
Right.
They're holding her hostage. Like that's sensational. They are hindering her ability to do what she wants, which is wrong.
Right. And so she originally intended for Suga to be dropped on May 2nd, which happened to be her mom's birthday, and her mom passed away last year. Oh. So this was supposed to be her debut album, but I didn't get really the full details, but she ended up putting a restraining order against 1501 Certified Entertainment.
Whoa.
The judge granted that order and she's able to cancel her contract with them. This all happened within the week. Like a lot happened with her. And then she just dropped the album. So she said she
probably before they could make a rebuttal.
Exactly.
So
this is kind of just halfway. She's like, it really was supposed to be an album, but I'm just going to drop an EP just to like put something out before, how you said, they rebuttal.
Yeah.
Again, I loved this EP. Loved.
The content is equally explicit to the previous.
Oh yeah,
everyone is
both
aware.
Of these are very explicit.
Yes.
Megan is more in your face about it, like
very much.
Okay, so I must first go with my favorite tracks, which happen to be BITCH, Captain Hook, and Savage. BITCH specifically because she samples Tupac's very popular song, Rather Be Your N. So just the beat alone, I was like, this is already fire. Cause it just brought me back. Like, there's a lot of like 1990s, you know, hip hop influences.
Yes, we understand the appeal to nostalgia is heavy with these derivative artists.
But it's just that one song. It's there's a lot like with Kehlani's song, which happened to be Hit My Phone. That's like more West Coast, upbeat. There's like a little vibe, when I listen to that song, I think of LA people and lowriders.
That's funny. That was actually my favorite song, Hit My Phone. That was my favorite. That was my favorite track off of this EP.
So I was just gonna ask you if that was your favorite one. What other ones? I mean, there's only nine tracks on the EP. Were there any other ones that stood out to you or that made you, you know, bop a little bit, you know, move your head a little bit?
Before we get into that, I want to mention the thing that you have in the show notes about her interview with Rolling Stone. It's hilarious to me that she says she's trying to embody something more like sensitive.
Right.
Like, nothing about this record
well,
is
if you
sensitive.
listen to the lyrics, like, and in the song Ain't Equal, which is the very first song, she sheds light. Well, she starts off the song immediately by saying how she lost her mom and her grandma in the same month.
Yeah.
And, you know, cause she blew up like 2 years ago. She was making mixtapes. She wasn't being played on radio.
Right.
Nothing. She blew up in a very short span of time.
Yeah.
And so she also explained in that song how like her life, like every single action she does is, you know, being viewed under a microscope, and she's constantly getting picked apart. So she, and not every single song, I get what you're saying. Cause it is very sexual as well. Like Captain Hook, especially Captain Hook. But it is compared to like, I think she means more in, I guess what she's talking about. She's becoming a little more vulnerable, I guess, because she does portray herself, I feel like, to be like this very strong, independent, you know, woman, which she is. And she doesn't typically like to talk about things that make her sad, things that, you know, she struggles with. I don't know. I think there's also how I'm interpreting it, because
it's just a more honest approach, not necessarily a gentler or sensitive. It's more honesty, which actually I think that my other favorite track is Ain't Equal is the first one. Yeah, that was my other favorite track off this particular EP. Right.
And I loved it from start to finish. It was short. Again, it's only 24 minutes long, so you could definitely listen to the entire EP in one sitting.
Yeah, and it's worth listening to, in my opinion.
There you go.
I have a soft spot for Megan Thee Stallion.
I'm so happy.
What can I say?
I know. You say your sister likes her, so I know your sister already.
No, I haven't talked to her about Megan Thee Stallion. I didn't want her to know that I liked Megan Thee Stallion because she might like harass me a little bit about it.
No, she's on top right now. A lot of men listen to Megan Thee Stallion. I don't know where like. There's not me talking about you, but other like guys I've talked to, they
don't want to own it?
No.
Megan Thee Stallion is, I mean, like,
she could spit.
Not just that, like, what is unattractive about a woman who is excellent at her craft? Actually, correction, what's unattractive about an individual who is excellent at their craft? It doesn't even matter that she's a woman.
Period.
Like, she's awesome.
Awesome, yeah.
If you're good at something, that's great. Who cares?
If you're a man or female,
a woman,
right?
And like, if we're gonna put her gender into it, I think it's even cooler because, unfortunately, we just don't see that often.
No,
because opportunity hasn't been afforded to that particular demographic. So I think it's even better. And like, personally, dudes, if you won't own up to the fact that you like Megan Thee Stallion, that says a lot more about you than it does about her.
Tell him, Keith.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Tell him.
You go tell everybody.
Period.
Unless it's your little sister who's going to make fun of you because she knows how much you dislike Beyonce. Like, I just don't want to have to breach that conversation with her, honestly. It has nothing to do, like, I'll tell all my friends that I like Megan Thee Stallion, all my dude
She's
friends.
Raw. Like, the way she delivers her
Yeah, but
lines.
if you listen to her lyrics, she's not interested in anything raw.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry. That was a PG-13 joke.
I was going to say, I was definitely PG-13, okay?
Treading right on that line of what's acceptable on this podcast.
This is
I don't
perfect.
think your kids will get it, so that's a good joke.
Yeah. And I really love her. Like, I love her as a person. Like, I wouldn't even care that if I were to meet Megan Thee Stallion in person, I wouldn't even care about the fame or anything. Like, I just like her as a person.
Isn't she like 6 foot some odd?
She's tall.
Yeah.
5'11".
Oh,
that's
okay,
tall.
Never mind. She's not tall.
We had this conversation. For a woman, that's height. Okay. Like, how many 5'11" girls do you know that aren't in basketball? Or volleyball players. There's a lot. There's not that many girls that are that tall.
But I don't know that. I've been in a relationship with a woman for like 5 years, so I don't really have an opportunity to make a ton of female friends.
Well, so. No, I mean, but yeah, I 5'11" is still pretty tall for a girl.
I guess.
There's some guys who aren't even that height. So
I mean, there's some guys who aren't even as tall as you.
What? I'm 5'2". There better be a guy that's as tall as me.
I'm pretty sure Tom Cruise is like 5'4".
Wait, Tom Cruise is that short?
Yo, he's tiny. Robert Downey Jr. is like 5'6" or 5'8".
I'm actually shook right now.
Yeah.
We're going to need to discuss. Wait, that actually could be a funny topic on our movie podcast. Like, actors who you didn't know were miniature. Here we go.
Yeah.
Wow. I am shook right now. Thanks for sharing that with me.
Of course. Yeah.
So there you guys have it. Those are my 2 picks for the week. We have hip hop, Megan Thee Stallion, Suga, and then we have Jhené Aiko, more softer, but still very sexual.
I'd put her into the R&B category.
Yeah, she's R&B. A lot of R&B features as well on her project. So I love both of these albums.
Would you give them both 10 out of 10?
I'd get Jhené for sure 10. Megan's like
a 9.
A 9, yeah.
I'd give Megan a 7. Solid 7.
Okay.
Definitely listen to it.
Worth the listen.
It's worth 24 minutes of your time, in my opinion.
There we go. I love it. I love that you love it. Or that you like it. I love that you like it.
There were certain things that I loved on it, and I was like, yeah, just
She goes in.
That is the way that,
she goes in for show.
Yeah. So, anyway, I think we're going to move on to something else.
Yes. Your pick?
Oh, was I supposed to pick something?
Oh, did you not?
No, I totally forgot. Here, hold on just a second. I'm going to look. Insert frantic typing sounds here. I'm just kidding. I picked several records, probably too many. The first of which that we're going to talk about is, I'm just going to say, we are radically departing from what we were talking about before.
Yeah, totally.
These records have nothing to do with the genre that we were previously discussing. And also, the amount of exposure that these artists receive is probably minimal in comparison.
We could be giving them exposure.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to hashtag their names in this episode and cross my fingers that they listen to it. Because, like, this first record is by a gentleman who goes by Honey Harper as his musician's name. And
that's so memorable.
It is.
Honey Harper.
I am absolutely in love with his music. It is part of what it sent me on a country kick. Like,
I was gonna say, there is
really
a
love
heavy
country music until I listened to him, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, you can do country like this!"
Oh, that was
so
my
good.
Exact same reaction.
Yeah,
I might not have loved it as much, but I definitely liked it. Like, I definitely enjoyed it and was able to listen and like. I really sat there and was like, I didn't do anything. I had to just sit there and just like soak it in. I'm like, what am I like my ears listening to? Because I've never heard country like this, how you just said.
Yeah.
So
he describes it as like cosmic or universal country is what he likes to call it. He is an artist from Atlanta that relocated to London, and he wrote this record over the course of 3 years with his wife, Alana Pagnuti, which sounds very Italian. So, it's really good. He's been releasing the singles here and there throughout, I think, the last few months. I haven't checked the dates, but it's been a while. I discovered him a few months ago. He's got this like David Bowie meets country kind of thing going on. And I've been waiting for this record for months. Like, I check back every other week and I'm like, did he drop it yet? Cause like I wasn't looking, like I don't look for release dates on most records. So I'm just kind of hopeful when I see a single from an artist I like, and I'm like, oh, make a note to check back in with this particular artist. And he hasn't, this is his debut album, so this is his first full-length LP. He has one EP and then a handful of singles to his name. And it's called Starmaker, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. So it's Honey Harper LP Starmaker, or the album name is Starmaker. And it's his debut album, and I loved it. It was just really good. The lyrical content is like, just think of like the best country love songs that you could write in our current context, and it's right there. Like, lyrically, it makes a ton of sense that he wrote this with his wife. There's a lot of kind of like that like feeling of tension in a long-term relationship with a lot of commitment, but there's still like sadness there because you're acknowledging the realities that come with being in a long-term relationship, and like just very meaningful, but also philosophic in a weird way. Like, he has a song that's about like, it's called Something Relative, and like it feels like a philosophy statement. Like, oh, it's just like, if you're looking for something interesting that's totally off the wall that you might like, I cannot recommend this enough. I really, really like this record. I would put him in like my top 10 artists right now. Honestly, I really do like what he's doing. So
no, I very much enjoyed it as well. And you know me, I'm a very visual person. I always like to look at the cover art.
Oh yeah, it's so great.
I literally put this in the notes. I love the twinkle in his eye.
Yeah,
literally.
The cover art is kind of, it looks like a shot from a J.J. Abrams
right.
movie.
And he has like clear lip gloss on. Like, that's just like,
if you look at those
he's so secure
covers,
in himself to like he's married with the wife, and like he's here like, you know, showing like a more feminine side to him, which is like not a bad thing at all. If anything, that like how I just said, that like just screams how secure he is in himself. And I actually looked at the other EPs that he dropped, and there's almost like a theme with his cover art with like the cowboy hat.
Well, he's very pale, and so he's very fair skinned. And so, like, it's just interesting. And he also has a very angular face, kind of like David Bowie did. He's a little bit more decidedly masculine than Bowie. Bowie was very androgynous. I don't say that negatively, just factually.
Yeah.
So he does kind of similar things with his face that Bowie did. So I really thought that was cool.
His makeup, I was like, hold up. What are you wearing? You need to drop it.
One of them has like glitter on his face.
Yes.
Yeah. What's crazy about that is country is such a hypo-masculinized genre that he would come in and do that and say, yeah, I'm country, and it is country.
It is.
There's nothing not country about it. It's like he's got a twang in his voice, the guitar is country, the lyrical content is country. Like, it's good and solid, and it's
so different.
So unique.
Yeah,
yes.
you truly have to just like go listen to that album, because I was pleasantly surprised, and I'm so happy that you recommended Honey Harper to me. And I wasn't able to get through the full album, but when I drive back later tonight, I'm gonna play Honey Harper, because I was just like so impressed. Again, I am not we actually both said this like when we first started doing these podcasts, how we aren't fans of country. Again, that's just an opinion.
Modern country.
Right. But this is like such a unique twist. Like, I was drawn in immediately. I really liked the track The Day It Rained Forever.
Yeah. My favorite tracks are Vaguely Satisfied and then Starmaker, the last track.
The Starmaker,
really
yeah. So, that one's good.
Yeah, and he put the singles on the back side of the record, so it's normally that's traditionally where you would put like the more like B-side stuff. So I think it's really interesting that like most of the record is front loaded with songs that you wouldn't have heard before you listened to the record. So, and if you're just looking to like get a taste for what he's about, I really recommend Tomorrow Never Comes or Strawberry Light. Those are two of the singles.
Strawberry Light. That one also. And just like the names of his songs, like really like stick out. Like
the little guitar solo in Strawberry Light.
Yes. That one's for sure is more like country. Like his voice is like, I'm not even gonna try and
rolling around.
Like I'm like, I'll embarrass myself when I try to do it.
He's got that like, he's not quite as low as I am or as Johnny Cash is, but like he's definitely going for that like baritone. He's right in the middle. So
he's got it.
I would give this like an 8.5 out of 10. I think this is really good.
I would give it
and
like,
it's super unique.
Yeah, I would give it like a 7. Yeah, like a 7.5. Yes. Yeah, around there, like 7.5. Again, this is like just something very different from what I'm typically used to, but just I rate it very highly because it's something I've never even. Nothing comes close to what I've ever listened to this, and I just like really enjoyed it, and especially for adding that country element. So no, I'm happy you recommended this in this week's picks.
Good. I am glad. And I have 2 more picks to get to right after our last commercial break.
always on the go, but the day just won't be one without your Hollywood fix. Let Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast take care of that. An all-inclusive look of pop culture.
And welcome back to GSMC Music Podcast. I hope you all appreciated me not either yawning into the mic or
that was
not.
A great bit.
I properly
You're just jealous that you didn't come up with it.
I properly welcomed you guys back into our show here, and we are not done with Keith's picks. So
no, we're still picking.
We're still picking
at that nose.
We're still picking. What?
Yeah, pick your nose.
I don't know. We can't be touching our faces right now with the virus going on. Do not pick your nose.
Okay, fine.
All right. So this one was, you go first and then I'll add my comment.
Okay. So this next artist that we're looking at, I was only going to pick female artists because this last Sunday was International Women's Day. Happy belated International Women's Day to everybody.
Thank you.
Well, all the women, not international.
I got it.
Yeah. So this next record is by an artist called Art School, or she goes by Art School Girlfriend, and it is her Into the Blue EP. Art School Girlfriend is the musical project of Margate-based Polly Mackey. Art School Girlfriend was born out of the ashes of Welsh shoegaze outfit Def Club, which I will be listening to. It sounds interesting. Once the group disbanded in 2014, Macquarie, who was a founding member of the band, found herself drawn to London's pirate radio networks and began making experimental electronic music. So I really kind of enjoyed this EP. It's not a very long listen. It was like 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah, it was like 4 songs.
Yeah, and it's super vibe heavy and very ambient. The songs are pretty meditative and enjoyable in my opinion, and it draws a lot of material from her personal experience as well as like literary sources, which she specifically mentions like Virginia Woolf as being one of her inspirations, which as an English nerd, that just makes me really happy. So what were your thoughts on this?
So do you notice how I didn't add any comment?
I did not see any comments, and it worried me. Because
I truly don't have any comment. Like, I didn't do anything to me. I don't know. Maybe it's because I don't know. I listened to it all the way through, and I just like couldn't get into it.
That's fair. Yeah, it is definitely like it's kind of atonal in that it's not. There's nothing really catchy about it, like there is with like the typical
like I like
music that
the
you listen
instruments,
to.
like you know, like the song. Like I get what you say by like the ambience it kind of creates and vibe heavy. Like I get that. But yeah, I just like, it didn't really do anything to me. Like out of the 3 projects that you chose this week, like this one was for sure my least favorite.
Yeah. Well, this was my least favorite of the 3 too.
Oh, okay.
I saw it and I was like, oh, I've listened to them before. It would be cool to talk about them. I actually didn't know that it was just a single lady act. But no, yeah, I think it's worth a listen if you're into that type of thing. If you like Brian Eno, if you like David Byrne, then you'll probably like this. You should give it a chance. But it's definitely not for everybody. I don't even think we necessarily need to rate it. I don't know. It's good if you want to listen to it, but is it doing something that's like super amazing, even in the context of the genre that it's in? No. I just think that it's cool to turn people on to some of the more obscure musicians out there who are doing at least somewhat interesting things. And I would say that as far as like auditory properties are concerned, this record is at least somewhat interesting. So I would recommend that you take 20 minutes out of your day to listen to it. It's definitely like a background thing, though. You could totally put this on and do like anything else, and you
do
wouldn't
like your
have to worry
homework.
About it. Yeah, exactly.
Your taxes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Get that done. You only got like a month left.
I know.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got one more pick that we want to talk about.
When is it over? No, I'm kidding.
We spent way less time on...
I know. I'm totally kidding.
It's fine.
I'm totally kidding.
You should hear what she says to me after we turn these microphones off.
I know. I'm the real Simon. I'm the real Simon.
Thank you. Thank you for owning that.
I'm the mean one.
I am just a sensitive flower.
A sensitive flower.
Yeah, this is. I take this podcast as an opportunity to flex my vocal performance muscles. So I'm hoping that I'll get picked up by a talent agent.
Maybe.
So,
you never know.
At me in the comments for my vocal performances. I will speak for your illustrated film.
I could it's so random. Now it's like talking about vocals. I could see you like singing opera.
Oh,
because you're like you're a large guy, you're tall, and you have like a deep voice, and like if you were to just like whip out and start like having that voice, like I would not be shocked. I totally would not be shocked.
I totally do have that voice. Yeah, I can totally opera it up. It's
opera it up.
Yeah, I definitely. I have.
Keith is gonna drop an opera album very soon.
I am not gonna do that. Maybe several arias. That would be more of my speed.
Arias.
Yeah, arias are like. They're like the individual songs out of an opera.
Okay, arias.
Yeah. It's basically just a piano and vocal accompaniment. So,
there you go.
Anyway, at least I think that's how it is. Someone who went to school for music theory, at me in the comments and tell me if I'm wrong. Honestly, because I don't remember.
Actually.
Yeah, no, seriously. So the last record that we're going to talk about today is by a woman named Faye Webster. It is her most recent release back from, I think, September of last year called Atlanta Millionaires Club. Faye Webster was featured in Rolling Stone last year as one of their artists you need to know. I do think that she is kind of like an up-and-comer on the scene for indie music. It seems like a lot of those indie music outlets and the places that are like promoting records, they really kind of like this this type of genre, this like strong female lead singer doing something interesting with her craft. The record heavily features pedal steel. And just as a weird tidbit, apparently she performs live with a yo-yo.
What?
Yeah. She got a yo-yo for Christmas or something, and so she uses the yo-yo in her performances so that she has something to fiddle around with, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, so a lot of the material in this record has to do with personal experiences and living alone for the first time. It's her third release. It came out in 2019. The title is based on a group that her father used to be a part of from the 80s. And I thought that was just really sweet of her to name it after this group that her father was in, which was just a bunch of his college friends. So none of them were millionaires.
Right.
And I don't even think they were in Atlanta. I think that they were in like the Northeast, and they may have even been in Canada. And this was the name of their running group. So they would run races, and they called themselves the Atlanta Millionaires Club.
Yeah, I was going to say, I like the
sweet
title of the album.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay. What's this Millionaire Club? I want to be part of that.
Yeah, and it definitely has like a feel kind of like a romance or a breakup record, in my opinion. I definitely got the vibe that she's definitely like, it felt like her like, this is what adulthood looks like to me record. And like, not that she wasn't an adult previously, it was just like this was her expression of those feelings. Mm-hmm. So I definitely enjoyed that, and it felt very relatable because of it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I liked this project as well. Her album and Honey Harper, they kind of are like neck and neck for me. Like I enjoyed both of those a lot.
Yeah, Honey Harper's a little more unique than this one, but
yeah, but I still really liked hers. It was enjoyable, easy to listen to. I specifically liked her song Kingston because the saxophone part was so unexpected. Like I was there, how you said it's like indie music, and then all of a sudden, like I think it was in the chorus or building up to the chorus, there's like a mini part of the saxophone, and like I really like the sound of the saxophone. And I immediately like tuned in. I was like, whoa, hold on.
Oh.
So that's like what did it for me. Kingston. I think that's like the third song.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't remember. I could be wrong. I think Kingston, on iTunes, it has like the little star next to.
Yeah, that's like the most liked track or something.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that was probably like the third song I listened to in the album. And I was like, hold up. I really like this song. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I definitely like this one as well. It's my second favorite. Honey Harper is a clear favorite for me on this one. I thought that record was really good. Faye Webster, her last record was really good. This record was really good. I think that, like I said, she'll definitely be in the landscape of like successful artists, in the next few years. I think that we'll hear her name around a few times. So it seems like she's definitely doing something right and doing something to be like noticed, and she's being noticed for the right reasons, in my opinion. So, God, what am I on the Bachelor? Like the right reasons. Oh gosh.
Didn't the finale just happen?
I am surprised that you don't have a group of people that you watch that show with.
No, because none of we're literally like not into The Bachelor. Like that was
I hate that show, and even I have a group of friends that watches it, and I watch it with them.
A girl I went to college with. Oh, I told you this.
She was on it.
Yeah, she was on it.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
But yeah, I don't know. I got too many. There's too many other good shows out on Netflix. I'm like, brother, tune into that.
Oh, so you watched Love Is Blind?
I did. Oh my God, did you watch that show?
No, I think that we're going to watch it as a group since we don't want to watch.
You need to watch Love Is Blind. Oh my God, I watched one episode and I like ended up binge watching the whole thing in like 2 days.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, I will listen to it as well. But since we're on another topic, that means that we're done for today. We won't bore you with our further back and forth conversation. So today we covered Megan Thee Stallion.
Jhené Aiko.
Thank you. I couldn't remember her name for a second. An artist named Honey Harper. His record's name is Starmaker. Jhené Aiko was named
Chilombo. And then Megan Thee Stallion's Suga.
And then we mentioned Art School Girlfriend, Into the Blue. That's an EP. And Faye Webster, Atlanta Millionaires Club. So
we have a good variety here for our album picks
pretty
this week.
Substantial variety this week, yeah. So definitely let us know in the comments which records that you listened to and liked.
Which ones are your favorites.
And tweet at us, subscribe, like, follow.
Share.
Leave us a 5-star review. And talk about how hilarious I am so that I can shove that in Cynthia's face and say, look, I am funny.
Look, they're going to say I'm the funny one. I'm the subtle one. Okay. All right.
Yes. So subtle as you confidently stroke your hair talking about how funny you are. Anyway, that's all we've got for you guys this week. Thanks for tuning in. We will talk to you next week.
Have a great week.
Oh, and stay safe on Friday the 13th.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Music Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.